so this is the compilation video. You've already seen the last 6. If you haven't seen them, there will be a link at the end. You can go back and watch them from the very beginning. So the first video, if you'll notice, I'm wearing a coat, and that took place at the very beginning of March. And they kept doing tear-outs in stages, and the last video, the end number 6, that was taken at the beginning of August. So all of those hunts took place from March till August. So there was quite a bit of time in there. I didn't start showing the first video until they had the concrete poured, because, you know, hey, I don't want to give away a good site. As you can see from the end of that last video, I didn't have to give anything away. All the locals saw me hunting. They knew what kind of a site it could have been, and so they were all joining in. Well, anyway, here's the part you've all been waiting for. All the finds. Alright, so this is all of the non-trash finds from all of these videos you've seen so far. And I've got them all broke down by the year. We've got 2 half dollars, 1909 Barber, 34 Walker. We got 4 quarters, all of them Barbers. 3 seated, 1888. One that is so worn that you can barely make out the fact that it's a that it's a seated. And a really nice looking 1891. And then we got our Barber dimes, all the way from 1894 through 1913. Then our Mercuries, we got 3 that are too worn down or too corroded to get a date. Then we go from 17 all the way up to 45. Only 4 of the Roosevelt dimes so far. Then we have our nickels. I have 1 shield. It is a nickel. There's a 5 on the back of it, so it's not a 2-cent piece. And then we have our V nickels. 2 no dates. Then all the way from 1895 to 1912. Our Buffalo nickels, we got 7 dateless. The dates are worn off on them. And there's a 1915, a 1917, and a 1934. And over to our coppers. These are all the Indian heads. Earliest is in 1888. Let me twist that around for you. And we go up through 93, 96, 97, 1900, 01, 02, 03, 06, and 07. And 4 that I have not pulled a date off of yet. I can probably get a date because some of these I've been able to get a date even though they were really bad. Like this is one. I put that through a whole lot of electrolysis cleaning, but I wasn't worried about hurting value because, you know, it looked like that beforehand. If you can't see a date, you're not going to hurt it by cleaning it. And then we go on all of our wonderful wheat pennies, all the way from 1909, the first year. We have 10s, 11s, 12s, 13, 15, 16, 17. Then we get into our popular years, 4 of them from 1918, 14 from 1919, and 8 of them from 1920. Then we go all the way up through 21, 23, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 33, 35, 36, 39, 40, 41, 42, 44, 45, 46, then all the way up 47, 48, 9, 52, 53, and then finally 55 and 57, and 9 that were too cruddy to get a date off of. So for the coins, that gives us a grand total of 33 silvers, 1 shield nickel, 12 V nickels, 10 buffalo nickels, 27 Indian head pennies, and 109 wheat cents. And then we have all kinds of cool little relics that were dug. All kinds of jewelry, buttons. This is the gold item. This is a 10-karat gold Fraternal Order of Eagle pin. I didn't think it was gold when I dug it because it had a copper clasp on the back that was corroded and made me think it was junk. There's a whole lot of cufflinks and some assorted pins. This is a ring. It's stamped 14 karat. Obviously junk. I'm not sure what this was. It was silver plated at one time. This is a silver plated chain. Alright, and this is looks like a little child spoon ring. They're made from taking a baby spoon and cutting the ladle off and bending it into a ring. And then this is really cool. I really like this one. It's a kid's ring, but it's for the Buck Jones fan club. This is from the 1930s. It's got the B on the side. The other side has the lariat and the 6-shooter. This is gold plated. It's pretty heavy copper for a kid's ring. And this is that little button I dug up. There's nothing on it. It's just round. It was gilded, and there's no maker mark on the back, but it's an older style button. There's no writing on the lock. I thought there was, but it's just some corrosion. It's still a cool lock though. An old Ford key. Some kind of advertising thing here. I don't know if this was supposed to be a watch fob originally or not. It's Hockaday paint, and then it's got the maker in Chicago on the back. And I'm not sure what this is. I think this was a seal handle for a stamp. And speaking of seals, that pendant I dug up that I wasn't sure, it's the seal of the state of Arkansas. I don't know what that's doing here in my state and in this site, but that's what that is. And then we have found quite a few tokens. 3 of the fairly new parking meter tokens. These are probably from the 40s. A whole bunch of broken and bent 1 mil tax tokens. This is the Enid trolley token. I got it cleaned up a little bit. It says good for 1 fare. Then on the other side is the Enid. What does that say? I can't read it right now. But it's an Enid trolley token from back in the old days when we used to have a trolley run here in town. And there was a 5 mil tax token. This is that bent and eaten up token. I can't figure out what it was. I was hoping to pull some more off of it. I can't even find enough to figure out where it came from. It says farmers something, and then you can see SHIPP, and so I don't know if this was a retail token or what. And then a whole lot of bullets. Everybody who dug at this site, they were all digging a lot of bullets. So what you see here, multiply that by about 4 or 5, because everybody was digging a lot. Of 45-70 rifle, you got a few others. Most of them they're too worn on the back, too corroded to get a date. Couple 38s, some 45s, one misfired 45. You can see it. Someone tried to fire it. Oh, and the interesting thing on all these 45 ACP brass, they're all government arsenal, because they've all got year dates. That's a 1918. That's a 44 CFW. That one's not the 45. Both of these have dates on them: 1928 and 1932. And a ton of 22 caliber cartridges. These are just the ones that I dug. These rang up really, really low on the bottom of the scale, so I actually ignored most of them. So these are just the ones that happen to come up a little higher. Then a whole bunch of shotgun shells. There's 12 gauge and 10 gauge. We got, I think every single one of these is a different head stamp. The 1901, there's a Peterson's Club, a Winchester repeater, a UMC Union. I can't remember what that one says. Then we have a cool skeleton key that I dug. And then this, I believe, is off of the end of a tassel for a military uniform. Or it's possible a band uniform, but considering the age of everything else around here, I'm going to guess that it might have been military. There's a lot of broken china at this site. A lot of it was broken into little pieces, but there were a few bigger pieces, and I picked up ones that were kind of interesting. I really like this one. This is my favorite. It's got a really neat flower design on it. Still looks really good, but it also has part of the maker's mark on the back. And this came all the way from England, so this is probably some really nice china for whoever was probably having a picnic there in the park when this was broken. And we had an old, this was originally a silver plated pencil. And then this is a makeup compact. There's only half of it. And this was what I dug. This is on the very first video. It's either a 68 or an 89, however you want to look at it. I'm guessing it's 68 because this part of the 8 is a little larger, and that's generally the bottom. But this is probably off of a chair or a bench seat from the old courthouse. So there you have it. Mini hunts over many months, but I had a lot of fun doing it. Hope you guys had fun watching.